1945. Berlin is a ghost, its ruins stretching endlessly. Silence hangs heavy, broken by survivors searching for life among the rubble. Survival is the only law. The war is over, but a new conflict begins. The Allies now face each other across the ruins. Soviets in the east, the West in the west. With Nazism defeated, the Soviet Union under Stalin looms. The Allies turn to German veterans of the Eastern Front for knowledge of the Red Army. In the ruins, necessity forges uneasy alliances. 1945 brought peace but not tranquility. Europe was now divided by an invisible iron curtain. The West faced exhaustion, the East, Soviet expansion. For American and British planners, the Soviet threat was a dark forest, unknown and menacing. Their intelligence on the Red Army was thin. Yesterday's ally was today's potential foe. The Western Allies needed maps, insight and understanding, fast. The key lay with the German Wehrmacht, who had fought the Soviets for years. Their archives held priceless intelligence, Soviet tactics, command structures, and vulnerabilities. This was not theory, but knowledge paid for in blood. Suddenly the German officer corps became potential assets, not just defeated enemies. The moral cost was high, but the perceived Soviet threat was higher. Pragmatism began to outweigh principle. The Allies needed to know their new enemy, and the hunt for German military experts was on. The Cold War's first alliances were forged in the shadows of necessity. Amid Germany's collapse, Reinhard Gehlen saw opportunity. As head of Wehrmacht intelligence on the Soviets, he held a trove of secrets. Gehlen microfilmed his archives, buried them in the Alps, and surrendered to the Americans. He offered his network in exchange for freedom. The Americans, astonished by his intelligence, made a secret pact. The Gehlen Organization was born, Germany's anti-Soviet intelligence now serving the West. The Cold War's shadow games had begun, with yesterday's foes now allies. By the early 50s, the Cold War was real, its front lines drawn in divided Germany. The West needed a new strategy to rearm West Germany and build the Bundeswehr. Creating an army from scratch required experienced leaders, veterans of the Wehrmacht. Men like Adolf Heusinger and Hans Speidel, once Nazi generals, were called back to service. Their mission: build a force strong enough to deter the Soviets, but anchored in democracy. They shaped doctrine, training and strategy, drawing on their Eastern Front experience. Mobile defense, flexibility, and strong NCOs became the Bundeswehr's hallmarks. These former enemies now worked alongside Western allies, planning Europe's defense. Heusinger would even lead NATO's military committee. The transformation was profound, from invaders to defenders of the West. Strategic necessity had forged a new shield from the remnants of a defeated army. The Cold War's alliances were built on pragmatism, not sentiment. History's lines had been redrawn by the demands of survival. Beneath Berlin, a secret collaboration unfolded. In the 1950s, the CIA and British intelligence built a tunnel, Operation Gold, to tap Soviet cables. German experts, once enemies, guided the route and technology. Construction was perilous, just meters beneath the border. Americans, British and Germans worked side by side, united by necessity. In 1955, the Allies tapped the cables, intercepting Soviet communications. The operation showed the power of collaboration with former foes. The Cold War's alliances were as complex as the tunnels beneath Berlin. The Western alliance with former German officers brought strategic gains, but at a moral cost. Many recruits had served a criminal regime. Some were implicated in war crimes. Reinhard Gehlen's organization even recruited former SS and Gestapo officers. The justification: their skills and networks were vital against communism. While Nazis were prosecuted at Nuremberg, others were quietly put on the Western payroll. Justice was compromised by expediency, the moral line blurred. For survivors of Nazi crimes, this was a bitter reality. If a former Nazi had valuable knowledge, his past could be overlooked. The alliance exposed a recurring dilemma. In crisis, nations often trade principle for security. The West chose practical advantage over full accountability. This decision shaped the memory of the war and the legacy of justice. In the cold calculus of geopolitics, yesterday's enemy became today's uneasy ally. The price of survival was a history forever complicated by compromise. The story of these German soldiers is one of adaptation in a shattered world. Their nation and ideology gone, survival became their guiding instinct. For Gehlen and others, usefulness to the new powers was the key to survival. Some acted out of opportunism, others from deep anti-communism, most from a mix of both. Their expertise became their only currency in the post-war order. This adaptation strengthened the West. Bundeswehr became a model army. Gehlen's intelligence gave early warnings. West Germany was integrated into the Western Alliance, a remarkable turnaround. Expediency worked, securing Europe's peace for decades. Yet the moral cost lingers. Justice was sacrificed for utility. The lines between enemy and ally blurred in the face of a greater threat. Their journey is a lesson in survival, adaptation, and the compromises of history. The Cold War's alliances remind us, in crisis, the past is never truly past. History's grey zones are where survival and principle collide.